In this video, we're going to cover the null factor law. It's one of the techniques that we can use to solve quadratics and even more complicated polynomials. For those who don't know me, my name is Chris Iannozoni. I used to work as an engineer for a defense company, and I've since left that to start a career in tutoring. I make these videos so that VCE students can do the best they can in math methods. With that out of the way, let's get into it. The null factor law states that the product of two or more terms can only equal 0 if at least one of the terms in that product is 0. For example, if we had A, B, and C all multiplied together, then if any one of those terms were equal to 0, then the entire product would be equal to 0. We can use this technique to solve quadratics via factorization. Suppose we have the following quadratic equation and we would like to solve it. Well, the first step is going to be to factorize the quadratic. And this one in particular can be factorized using the add together times together method. If you need to revise this, please be sure to check the previous video on expanding and factorizing. Either way, once factorized, the null factor law comes into play, because there are two terms that multiply together to give 0. That means either the first term or the second term could equal 0. So, to apply the null factor law, all we're going to do is go term by term and equate each of those terms to 0, and then solve them individually. In this case, we're going to get two solutions, x equals -2 and x equals -1. And both of those solutions are valid. Quadratics are the first time you'll come across an equation where two solutions are possible. Your equation might not start off by equaling 0. This is bad because the null factor law requires a product of terms to equal 0. So the first stage is going to be to rearrange this equation until it equals 0. Once we have that, we factorize. This quadratic in particular is going to require the cross product method depicted below. Now, once we have that, we treat it exactly the same as before. We go term by term, equate it to 0, and solve each of those terms individually. As a final note, not all quadratics can be solved using null factor law. This is because not all quadratics can be factorized. We'll look at how to get around this in later videos, but for now, null factor law is all you need. If you found this video helpful, then you should consider joining my free community. I host a Q&A call every week to personally help you through any of your specific questions, and you'll also get access to more resources like this, including written and recorded lecture content, as well as practice exams and SACs with detailed solutions. It's pretty cool, you should check it out. I'll see you there.